NBC Sports, home of the Olympic Games, Notre Dame football, the Premier League, the NASCAR playoffs, Sunday Night Football, and Super Bowl 56, only on NBC.
Good evening from Boston, a city filled with history. And tonight, about to host one of its most anticipated sporting events. About 30 miles south of the city at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, maybe the biggest build-up for a regular season game in NFL history. Because of this guy, Tom Brady, the man who won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots, greeting old friends from the franchise, but he's back in New England with his defending champion Buccaneers to take on his former team. We're just an hour away from the return of Brady to Foxborough on Sunday Night Football. He'll be coming out of that door, the visitors' locker room, for the very first time in his career in a stadium he's very familiar with. Hi, everybody. Mike Tirico. Welcome to Football Night in America. Tom Brady's used to coming out of the door 46 paces the other way. That's the home locker room. He's done it for 2 decades, but tonight it's a very different story. He'll be taking this walk, probably about 20 minutes or so, onto the field for a huge ovation. Of course, tonight's been billed Brady against Belichick, the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest head coach of all time. We know it's all about the teams as well, but it's not just about Brady and Belichick. Tonight's about a city that loves its sports. Tonight's a Boston night. Think of the great sports legends like Ted Williams, and Bill Russell, and Bobby Orr, the legends of sports. That's on the Mount Rushmore along with Tom Brady. But none of those greats ever played a road game in Boston. Tonight, these fans are going to come. They'll probably give Brady one of the great ovations of all time. But then they'll be rooting for their Patriots to win. That's the parochial nature that makes New England so special. Tom's going to come down this tunnel and head on out this way to a field where he has played 157 games before. Most of them wins. 19 playoff wins, but the last time he was on this field was a wild card game against Tennessee, January 2000. His very last pass was intercepted by a former teammate, Logan Ryan. So he'll return to this field tonight, perhaps with that memory. But there will be a lot of memories of those things, those 6 banners he helped put on top of this stadium. There'll be a reception like you've never seen. I'm looking at the crowd. I see more number 12 jerseys. No visiting players probably had his jersey worn in a stadium on the road than tonight, Tom Brady. It's a night filled of emotion. It's a night filled of passion. It's a night filled of memories. To help us set the tone, a couple guys have been through something similar to this. Tony Dungy and Drew Brees. Guys?
Mike, you talk about emotion, and there's going to be plenty of it tonight. I can tell you that from experience. In 2002, I went back to Tampa after being fired by the Buccaneers. I was with the Colts. I thought I was going to hold it all together. I was going to be fine all week. I was telling myself it's just another game. When we got introduced and that crowd erupted for me, Drew, I almost lost it. And Tom Brady is going to have trouble holding it together tonight.
I can only imagine what it would be like for me to go back to the Superdome here and walk out of the visitors tunnel after my 15 years there. I do know what it was like to go back to San Diego when I played for the Chargers. It was 10 years later. I thought I had mentally prepared myself, but I'm shedding tears as I'm giving the pregame speech to the team. So those emotions are real, and they're hard to hold back.
They are. Tom was great. We saw him before the game, shaking hands with everybody. But when he hits this field, I want to see it because it is going to be emotional. And to find out more about the atmosphere, we're going to go to Jack Collinsworth and Rodney Harrison, who are out in the crowd.
Coach, it is not too bad hanging out with the mayor of Foxborough. How about Rodney Harrison one time? You can feel this place, and Rod, over your 6 seasons as a teammate with Tom Brady, you brought 2 Super Bowls to this city. What defined Brady as a teammate?
Well, Tom was like the perfect teammate. He always worked extremely hard. He always came in prepared. And more importantly, he always put the team first. But what I love about it is these fans, they now get a chance to see Tom Brady really has his personality through social media, through all the, the commercials that he's doing. And that's why we fell in love with Tom, because of his personality.
It's a Tom Brady celebration tonight, but it's also about Boston, about the people of New England. How do you think they will treat this homecoming?
Are you kidding me? Hey, you guys love Tom Brady. They love Tom Brady. Let me tell you something, the reason why. He sacrificed more than anybody in this organization for 20 years. For 20 years, he put it on the line. They love Tom Brady, and so do I.
You could just feel, Rod, the weight of this return waking up today in Boston. Tonight is a story that this city will tell forever. We are counting you down to the Patriots and the Bucs on Sunday Night Football.